do whatever she does. Go to them. So 2000 later. Well, I didn't have to go back after that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to keep going back.
And only way you can share it is in some window. But see, that's what they're saying. So they're not even seeing that.
It's not even in presenter mode.
Mhm. I wonder if I can. Can I send this to them afterwards?
You probably can because I sent it to you.
Okay. So Zoom people, we are trying our best here. We will send you the presentation afterwards so that you can see the photos. It's just moving like a slide behind of where she's talking. So we're going to call our IT guy and see if he can come help us, but he is left for the day. So we're going to try to figure that out. But just FYI, we'll send it afterwards. We're going to keep presenting because we've got a meeting after this. We'll get the information and can host another one if we need to as well. So thanks for bearing with us. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Okay. All right.
Also, get my computer and send a PDF copy.
Should I keep going?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. Okay, let's keep going. So you've got your map of what's happening here on the riverboat, 6 nights. I'm going to show you wonderful pictures. So December 3rd through the 11th, and that's coming up quick. And I will keep emphasizing, you know, this is a riverboat and the space fills fast. So if you know you want to go ahead and sign up. We've already had people asking about it. So there's no guarantee on space on this. So if you know you want to go ahead and sign up. All right, let's get going here. So starting out, again, you're flying into Frankfurt, and what you're doing, you leave here on day 1 on the itinerary. You have that wonderful overnight flight where you slept so well going to Europe, right? Being facetious, y'all. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you get there on local time, their time, which is normally 6 hours ahead of our Eastern time. You arrive there day 2. So we don't do a lot of touring is what I'm saying on day 2 when you arrive, because literally you'd probably be asleep on the motor coach. So we get you in, we get you acclimated, get you comfortable, and you spend that first night in the hotel in Frankfurt. So, this is in the historic region of Bavaria. It's along the banks of the Main River. And Bavaria is the largest region in the state of Germany, and it's located on that southeastern section of the country. So if you saw that map there, but Franconia is the region within Bavaria that's known for the descendants of the Franks. And just some of the sites that you'll see. And, we rank our itineraries on a scale of 1 to 4, 4 being the most strenuous and 1 being the most leisurely paced. So I get that question quite a bit, like what's the walking level going to be like? We rank this at a level 2, but, really anytime you go to Europe, even though you're on a river boat, you don't want to be misled where you are going to get off on shore and do walking tours everywhere you go. So you're definitely wanting practical, comfortable walking shoes, pedestrian streets, cobblestone areas where you do want to get out and get into the thick of it and be able to walk. So just, being prepared for all of this. And we'll have local guides when you go ashore into each of these towns that'll take you on leisurely paced walking tours. And this is Würzburg, where we start, the jewel of the Main River. It's an ancient Franconian wine town. And anytime you go to Europe, the wine is more free flowing than water, right? So why not partake? And it's a lot cheaper than a Coca-Cola for sure as well. So you'll want to enjoy that, do as the locals for sure. But just look at this quintessential architecture that you'll see throughout Rothenburg. They call it one of the most well-preserved medieval towns in all of Germany. And this was just going to give you some examples of the riverboat here for you. So we contract the whole sailings on these boats, which is, it's good to talk about as well. And, this company is Lufner. They're Austrian, a family-owned Austrian company, and these are all brand new Amadeus ships. So it's something to say when we contract the whole ship, it's all English speaking on board, which makes it very nice. So if you've never been on a riverboat, typically what they'll do is they'll make announcements in 6 different languages. So that can be overwhelming after a while, and you zone out and you say, what did I miss? I don't know if I heard the English being spoken. So they'll do the announcements in English, which is really, really nice. And if you've never been on a river cruise, it's very different than being on a big 4,000 passenger ocean liner, right? So these are about 4 decks on the riverboat that you see here, and 80 cabins, 160 passengers, so very nice small feel to it. I'm going to show you the pricing and talk about the cabin categories when we get to the end for you and the differentiators, but there are no inside cabins on the riverboat. So you're going to select one of the outside cabins. It's just a matter of which one you prefer. Okay, so let's keep going here. If I can get this to move along for me. So again, 6 nights, and you saw the panorama. It's called the panorama deck at the very top. Obviously, the pictures that you saw were taken at a little bit of a different time of year. You know, you're hoping this is going to be maybe a little bit of a winter wonderland, a magical time. We usually don't see a lot of snow here in Georgia like we're talking about. And, you know, temperatures maybe in the 30s during the daytime. So you're going to bundle up. And they do have a top deck is what I was talking about. Isn't that sound magical? Yeah, and I can see y'all are excited. But you can get up on the top deck, and the boats move at a pretty slow pace. So if you want to get some fresh air, maybe take a walk around on that track when the boat is moving, you can do that. They have a salon. They have a small little bar on board inside this area that you're looking at here. And they have excellent cuisine here, and they'll do unlimited wine, beer, and soft drinks with your dinners every night. So that's a nice feature. And just to kind of show you the dinner area for you on board. So back to the shores. Now, this is day 4 where we'll go into Nuremberg. You have that local expert that'll take you around. You'll see the old town. There's the 900-year-old ramparts that surround the city. There's an imperial castle here. And it's really best known as the site of the Nazi war trials from World War II is really the significance of Nuremberg. And this gives you an example here of these Christmas markets that we're talking about. So every town that you're going into, they have Christmas markets set up in their city centers. And look at this. Doesn't it look spectacular? These wooden stalls are set up. Everything is decorated, and there's lights and trees. And it is a magical time of year to be over there. And, you know, Nuremberg boasts some of the oldest, longest running markets of anywhere that you're going. They date back to 1628. They've been operating. So it's pretty spectacular. And each town, if you will have different souvenirs and items to purchase. And Nuremberg was always known as a toy making center. So you have the opportunity to buy some of the traditional nutcrackers and wooden ornaments and eat some gingerbread. And you really want to eat your way through, right? You really do. Anytime you go to Europe, it's part of the travel component, I call it, is you're missing something major if you don't taste and sample as you go along. The food in Europe is just to die for, really. So they eat and walk, and I promise you, you will not gain a pound. You won't. They don't know what carb-free means over there, and you worry about that all later when you get home. So what we'll do, we're cruising on through you're actually going to cross the Continental Divide here, and there's a final stretch of what's considered the main Danube Canal that brings you into Regensburg. And just look how spectacular the castle is there, the cathedral, I should say, illuminated at night. And then the next day, what we'll do is our walking tour of Regensburg and really, you know, discovering one of Germany's grand medieval cities. They have nearly 1,400 historic buildings here. And it's a UNESCO site. A lot of these city centers, UNESCO means it's preserved for its historical significance. And so what you'll see is, you know, they have the 1,400-foot long bridge that was built in the 12th century here. This is very quintessential Germany, if you will. And you'll be at the markets different times of day. It just depends on when you're docking in each of the cities and when the markets are open. So we have all of that perfectly planned for you. So it's kind of nice to do some in the afternoons, do some in the evenings, and you can see how magical and pretty it is here in Regensburg with the lights and the decorations here. And again, all of those local handicrafts. So the next morning, early morning light, we'll cruise past the valleys and the charming riverside towns to Passau. Now, Passau is the lower region of Bavaria. You're near the Austrian border here. And this is known as the city of three rivers because you have the Inn and the Ilz, and they combine with the Danube here. And it dates back to the Stone Age. So I like it when we have what's called a choice on tour, and you'll see that in your printed itineraries and online. You can select what you prefer to do at the time. It's not additional, it's not extra, but you have some flexibility and say on what you want to do. So first, there's the Passau. These are both walking tours, and you have a tour guide with you, so you're not alone. You're getting all the commentary and the history no matter which way you go. So you can do the walking tour. And this is a 2,000-year-old fairy tale city, they call it. So there's I call it the main historic city center tour, or there's the Vester Oberhaus tour. So just a little more information on these. And again, you sign up before you go, but it's very flexible. Sometimes people forget what they signed up for, or they might change their mind when they get there. And people flip-flop and say, I'm going to do this one instead of that one. So that's very flexible with this, okay? So don't be too stressed about it. So again, this is the main city center, the historical part where there's the ornate Baroque architecture, the cobblestone streets. There's a visit to St. Stephen's Cathedral here that has the home of the largest organ, if you will, in all of Europe. And Vester Oberhaus, now this is the largest preserved castle complex in Europe. So, castles are built up on a hill, right? So the castle was built in the 1200s. So if you're not wanting more of a strenuous walk, is what I'm telling you, you might want to stick with the city center kind of walk. Both of them are probably, about a 2-hour leisurely pace, but it's just what you prefer. They're both wonderful. Sometimes it's hard to pick between one and the other because you have that fear of missing out, right? So the markets here you see in Passau, you'll be able to visit those. Just charming. And as you're cruising down the river, the rest of the scenery, you'll see the charming town of Emmersdorf, and it's nestled right along the banks of the Danube as well. And these pictures obviously were not taken in December. You could have the sun out, but there's obviously no snow in these pictures. Dürnstein is a nearby town, passing Emmersdorf to Dürnstein, and the famed Benedictine Melk Abbey located here, 900 years old. It's one of the largest Baroque monasteries in all of Europe, and it's known for the production and housing 11th century manuscripts here. So pretty impressive. And what we'll do is we'll have a Glühwein party. Some ladies are like, "Well, this looks fantastic." So this is the traditional hot drink in Europe, and it kind of starts around Halloween time and it goes to Christmas time, but I have to highlight it because it is magical. It's a mulled wine, and they'll put cinnamon sticks in it and raisins and oranges, and it's hot and it's warm, and you're going to sip these in each of the markets, and it will keep you warm from the inside, right? But they'll sell the Glühwein in collector's item glass ceramic mugs in each market that you visit. So it's fun. A lot of times people want to collect the mugs as you go along. So definitely want to enjoy and taste that local tradition of the Glühwein. Everybody comes very happy with that. And this is the spectacular, this is, all of the German part of the itinerary. You kind of follow along what's called the romantic road, if you will. And this is the Wachau Valley. And the Wachau Valley is known for being really the most picturesque section of the Danube. And again, I did this several years ago, and I think it has more castles per square mile than any other section of the Danube. You'll see these beautiful villages and even vineyards. So it is truly magical. And coming into Vienna, this is where we'll disembark the ship. But, this is Austria's beautiful capital city. It's known as the city of music. And you'll hear quite a bit about Mozart, Beethoven, Strauss. It's also known as the imperial city part of it. There's Prague, Budapest, Vienna are what's called the imperial cities of this region. So you'll have a guide, you'll have a tour of the city. It is the largest largest of the cities that you'll be seeing, unless you're going to be doing Prague at the end as well. But you'll see the lavish Hofburg Palace. You'll hear quite a bit about the Habsburg dynasty. The Habsburg, they ruled Austria for hundreds of years. There's the beautiful opera house. If you have any inkling and want to check out an opera, this would definitely be the place to do it. And the Ringstrasse, that's their main loop that goes around the center, the heart of Vienna. Beautiful St. Stephen's Cathedral, built in the 1100s. It is really kind of the heart of the city, if you will. St. Stephen is the patron saint of Austria. And they will have Christmas markets, of course, in Vienna as well. And you definitely want to go out and talking about eating again. You have to try the soccer tort. That's their famous dessert in Vienna. So have some, it's kind of like an apple strudel, if you will. You want to try that while you're out walking around with a nice coffee or a cappuccino. And there is an option while you're in Vienna, and the option, any option that would be offered would only be offered when there is free time, so nothing conflicts. It's basically, if you don't want the free time, you can take part and purchase one of these options. Schönbrunn Palace, this is the summer residence of that Habsburg dynasty that I was talking about, and it's fashioned after Versailles in France. So it is really something to see if you've never been to Schönbrunn. And they do have some very large Christmas markets here as well. So this would be offered for you. And then going back to the ship, they'll have a captain's gala, just another reason to celebrate one of the evenings. And there's really no dress code required. And I usually just tell, men can bring a sport coat, a collared shirt, and ladies, I would say black is a great color for slacks or a skirt. You can wear that at the beginning of the trip, wear it at the end of the trip. Usually that's when people want to celebrate starting the trip and ending the trip with the gala, and mix and match. Don't get too fancy because you're limited on your luggage, of course. And then they have an orchestra on board the ship, so they'll have a Christmas concert for you one of the evenings. I love traveling at this time of year because you do get that extra festive feeling with everything decorated and celebratory and really magical. And, I do say, if you don't have to go to Europe in the summertime, don't do it. You know why? Because it's hot, expensive, and crowded. And it really hit home for me again when I was just on the 2 European trips I was in November and December. I'm like, the weather was fantastic, great values, and the crowds were lesser, so you could enjoy yourself that much more. So if you're able to travel at this time of year, definitely go for it. So here's the extension. If you want to stay longer and see a little more, do a little more, because it seems like most of you in the room here haven't been to this region, you can do, it's a 3-day, 2-night Prague extension, and there's the rate. It's listed on the brochure for you as well. And again, it just kind of couples with that imperial city visiting Vienna at the end there also. So you see the Radkenny Castle there in the distance, and you'll stroll down the Golden Lane inside the castle complex. There's the beautiful St. Vitus Cathedral here, and the famous statue line Charles Bridge is the sights to see when you're in Prague. So you'll have a local guide, but the thing is with the extension is the guide that was with you on the riverboat will not be with you on this extension, and it's more of a hosted experience. So I always like to tell people about this just to be sure you're comfortable. You have more independent time than you do on the base tour while you're on the riverboat. So you really want to make sure that you're comfortable with that. They'll do some guided touring for you, but you will be pretty independent staying at the hotel and having that free time. And you can see the Christmas markets here are very large in Prague as well. So you'll want to go find your Glühwein. And if anybody wants to see the QR code here, and for those in the room, inside your brochure, if you open to that first inside page, there is a blue ribbon on the bottom of the page. And are the folks still online? Mm-hmm. There's the link I'm showing you there to type in that link, and the whole itinerary will pull up for you day by day with all the need to know information on the trip as well. Okay.
And online people, they'll have the presentation in your inbox, in your email inbox. So you can see this on your screen as well.
And this is what will pop up. I'm not sure if anybody has been on there yet to check out the link. This is the landing page. It's living on the alumni page, right, Allison? Mm-hmm. And this is what it looks like. So you see the 2 blue tabs in the upper left corner there, and you'd want to click sign up now for the easiest way to sign up online. And you see in the upper right hand corner, Colette's 800 phone number there, and it has that 7-digit reservation number. But everything is very easy and streamlined if you just click in that sign up now tab in the upper left corner, and it'll walk you through. I think there's 4 easy steps to book online, and it's a secure website to put your credit card down. And it is a request to book, so it doesn't instantaneously hit your credit card. They go through and look at all your requests and make sure everything can be accommodated. And then it could take 24 to 48 hours for it to hit your credit card and see the payment go through. Okay. So just showing you the rates, and this is what you would see online with that link, and you have it in paper written there for you. So just talking a little bit about those cabin categories that I mentioned in the beginning there. So they're all outside cabins, but there's a lower deck, middle, upper, and then a suite. Okay, and I will tell you singles are extremely limited, and there is a fine print section online as well as the printed brochure that has a please note section, and everything I'm talking about is in writing there for you to go over and remind yourself as well. But singles are extremely limited, and that's the Riverboat. That's the company. They control all of that. They want to put 2 people in every room. So we don't roommate match. So if you're looking for a roommate, please get with Allison and the alumni department, and they can take a list and kind of start trying to help people match up if you're looking for a roommate and not wanting to pay the single supplement. Okay, so the lower, I will tell you, the lower cabin categories, those are basically portholes. Okay, so based on the, you never know with the river levels over there. If the river's high, your porthole could be underwater. The river's low, you know, you have full view. So I'm just warning you, just telling you what kind of window we're talking about. Then you get the middle cabin that's on the next deck up, and it's a little bit of a larger size window. The upper deck is waist to ceiling, a large picture window. And then those 3 cabin categories are the exact same size. There's no difference in the sizes. And then the suites are a little bit larger, where they have a little sitting room on board in the cabin there for you. And the suites are extremely limited as well. So they usually only have 2 to 4 suites on board the boat. And again, when you look at the reservation forms online and in paper print here for you, they will ask you to put down your top 4. It's a request, so that's why I'm encouraging you to sign up as soon as possible. If you know you want the lower, if you know you want the upper, whatever you want, they'll ask you for first, second, third, fourth category requests of what you prefer, and they will put you in that order based on what's available at the time of booking. Okay. And if it turns out where it's not a category to your liking, they can waitlist you for a different category, or they can take you off if you're just, you know, not wanting that. So just be aware of that when you're looking at booking. Now these rates, just so we're all on the same page, literally, these rates, it tells you what's included in that. So this is the land package, the riverboat package, the number of meals I talked about, the transportation, and it has economy class airfare included for you in that pricing out of Atlanta. And the airfare was included, and the price was only $2.99 for airfare on this package. So a pretty fantastic price on airfare. Again, off-season pricing for airfare. Sometimes we get people saying, I'm going to do my own airfare. Don't do that on this itinerary. You're probably going to use way more miles or pay a lot more than this would cost you. So definitely leave the airfare included on that for you, and all the taxes and the fees are in that as well. And we do have an additional savings on this as long as you're booked by the end of next week, March 31st. Don't wait till 5 o'clock next Friday, because it might not go through. So there is an extra $100 off per person on the pricing that you see on the lowest rates for booking by the end of March. And what's not included, I'm going to talk about in a minute here, is the cancellation waiver and the insurance, and that's $5.99 per person. Okay. And the deposits are all due by April 3rd, but we will be sold out by then. So seriously, sign up tonight, sign up today if you're going to go home and do that online, because the cabins will be gone. This is the date that y'all are on was an added date because we've sold out all of our other sailing dates. for this time of year because it was such a fantastic price. So the deposit amount is $898 per person, and then you add the $599 insurance on at the time of booking for $1497 per person. Okay, and then final payment is due to us by August 4th. Just some of the particulars here. I am going to talk about the insurance in a minute, but we're going to do a group pickup, and we'll designate that. We can give you more information on that closer in once we have an idea of who's signed up and going. So we'll do one group pickup and get y'all to and from the Atlanta airport. Isn't that nice?
It'll be from Tyus Hall here in Carrollton. So we'll leave here from the university. We'll all meet together. I'll text out a time. We have a group text message that we do from the university. And then that is our role as the university rep, is to make sure your travel goes smoothly until we can get to our Colette rep on our trip. So we're here to help navigate all of those pieces.
Yeah, so that's a really nice added feature for you. And just some questions that we normally get. Again, the economy class airfare is included out of Atlanta. And I've already had people asking, you can upgrade, just let us know if you want a business class quote, first class, comfort plus. We can do that. If you have friends or family, more than welcome to join us. If they're coming out of a different gateway than Atlanta, just let us know. We can price out if there's a difference from Charlotte, from New York City, from LA, you know, wherever they want to come from, just let us know. And you want to go early, you want to stay late, we can do just about anything. But the biggest key here is to just let us know sooner than later. If we start ticketing airline tickets, there are change fees if they've already been ticketed to make adjustments. You know, the upgrades sell out. We sometimes have people waiting till 2 weeks out and saying, I'm going to upgrade. Well, it's supply and demand. They're probably sold out on the upgrades at that point. Or I'm supposed to be coming out of a different air gateway. We need to know that. So when you sign up online or you're going to do the paper form, it will lead you and ask you all these questions when you sign up. Okay. And that insurance, I really highly recommend take the insurance. It will allow you to cancel for any reason, no questions asked, until the day before departure and receive a full cash refund. You know, we've given back over $185 million in cash the last 2 years. So most companies, just to educate you, most companies will try to give you a voucher, which means a future travel credit, which you use it or you lose it. With us, you get a full cash refund. So definitely buy the insurance, and it's going to let you cancel. No questions asked until the day before departure. If you cancel the day the plane flies, it does need to be a medical reason with a doctor's note. And, you know, this does cover your air ticket as well. So you're not stuck with a non-refundable airline ticket. Okay. And then when you get on tour, it's always good to know, just educating you again as a traveler, you know, never leave the country without knowing what kind of medical coverage you have or you don't have. Could really be catastrophic. So the cancel for any reason insurance turns into medical insurance while on tour. So you have coverage, which Medicare, Medicaid normally does not cover you when you leave the US. So I highly recommend this. This will cover you for trip interruption, trip delay, lost, stolen, or damaged luggage, and medical while on tour. Okay. So if you have any questions about that afterwards, please ask me, because it's very important and it does need to be paid for at the time of booking. So you add that on to your $898 deposit. Okay. We have a loyalty program. So just a thank you for being a frequent loyal traveler. And I think most of you have not been with us in the past. This would qualify you if maybe you're going to go on the Costa Rica trip with us next year. You would receive $150 off on your next trip with us within the first 12 months, departure date to departure date. It's been a little bit longer, up until 24 months from one trip to the next. We'll still give you $100 off per person. And then after the 2 years, they do expire and they would start over with your next trip qualifying you. Okay. So just check your passports. If you don't have a passport, start thinking about that. I just went through this with my kids and I paid to expedite, which was double. It's double the price and it took 3 weeks, but you don't want to have to do that. And I'm hearing right now it's taken about 12 weeks for regular passports to come back or to apply for a new one. So I would start thinking about that now if you need to do that and work on it. Don't panic and have to expedite like I did. So that's about everything I have. Hopefully it was informative and gave you the information you need. We'd love to have y'all come go with us. Does anybody have any questions? Do we have a few minutes for any questions?
You mentioned the visa. Do you know?
You don't need a visa.
Okay.
You do not need a visa. Yep.
The
boat listed is Amadeus Silver 2.
Correct.
I was just downloading the pictures.
Oh, gets you excited, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'm not really interested in a porthole under the water. So I wanted to see the pictures of the other rooms.
Are there common areas on the boat, so if you don't want to spend the time in the cabin, you are able to?
There
Really
are,
awesome. There's
yeah.
a nice little
Lounge area,
area.
comfortable seating. Yeah, definitely. Inside, because it'll be cold this time of year.
So is most of the boat travel done during the day or the night, or?
It's a combination. I would say it moves more in the evenings when you're sleeping, which is nice because then you get to see the scenery when you're moving in the daytime.
So, as far as the down payment being made, and then you just pay as much as often, as long as the balance is paid by August 4th, or?
There's just the 2 payment cycles required. So you're putting down the $898 now with the $599 insurance at the time of booking to save your spot. And then the final payment is due to us by August 5th. And you can pay more frequently if you like along the way, but we just require the 2 payments.
And this is done just a little bit differently. So for those of y'all that know the Iceland people or people who have traveled with us, we're doing this a little different. So we haven't worked with Colette before, right? So this is new. Typically the payments have run through the foundation. We're doing that differently this year. It just makes it easier from our end because we love this part of our work. It's one of our favorite work parts, but it is not our whole job. And so we need Colette's help to do the booking and to enter all of the pieces. And when it has to go through another channel, it's just one more room for error and entering tickets and those types of things. And those are some of the things we experienced this year. So Colette's going to take care of the booking for us. We can obviously answer any questions and help with that, but your payment will go through Colette. It won't go through the University Foundation. So it's a little bit different than previously.
Do you honor Delta travel miles and all of,
You'll accrue mileage, but we don't take mileage for the tickets, if that's what you're asking.
If we use Delta, would they use the Sky Miles?
You would accrue mileage for it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you paid for the ticket, so yeah.
Will there be another day that we all get together before we leave to go?
I'm not sure how y'all handle that. We provide documents. We have really nice, we still do paper documents and leather wallets with travel information for you. So yeah, we'll make sure you have all your information.
What we've done for our previous trips is we do a document meeting about 2 weeks before our trip. And we got requested to do this a little sooner this time. So we'll probably try to do it 3 weeks out. Just because sometimes airlines change and all of those types of things. So try to do as close as we possibly can, but we'll get together, we'll have name tags, we'll enjoy some cuisine from the area together. We're usually in this room and we'll get to know each other, get all set up on our group text message and make sure that we have all the details that we need, make sure all of our documents are spelled correctly and all of those pieces. So we'll definitely get together before.
Yeah, and we'll have an app for each specific trip that you're on, and we'll be able to help you load the app along with the paper documents. So we'll make sure you have plenty of information. Yeah.
What about roommates? Like if you're going to book a double, but there's only one of you, would that be assigned by you guys through this group, or would that just be through the river boat and you get whomever?
We don't assign roommates, so you'd need to let the Alumni Association know that you're interested in having a roommate to see if there's anyone else looking for a roommate. Otherwise,
Yeah. I just tried to go online and register the same thing, like I don't know who's coming with me, right? So you've got to have your people to submit this in to get the double price.
Oh, you've got to
You
sign
got to
up
have your
with-
person.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, you're single. Okay.
Unless we can tell you something different, but from this site, it looks like I've got to have my second guest to be able to get that double
if you
price.
clicked on double, yeah, because it asks you at the beginning of the reservation process, are you a single or are you a double?
But if I go to pay, it's going to charge me single, right? If I put single.
Well, the deposit amount is the same for every person. So you're just putting deposit in it if you're buying the insurance down at the time. So it would be the same amount for everybody, but it doesn't matter right now on cabin category or double or single. But if you do click double, it's going to want a second person's name.
So do you advise for folks who are looking for roommates to go ahead and fill out the single and pay the deposit, and then we'll fix that on the back end, or how do you want it?
Yeah, I would say do that, because again, the singles are extremely limited. As long as you kind of get it worked out in the next couple weeks, I would say, where we can move you into a double with a roommate. But I'd go ahead and sign up as a single now, and then we can make a note that you don't want to be a single.
And I have some business cards with me. I'll give you my cell phone number. Met lots of people through this, so we'll just work together and make sure, and I'll share that information with Jennifer. We'll make sure all of our people are where they're supposed to be before we go. That is our kind of role to make sure that you all have everything.
Yeah. But yeah, just, if you want to go ahead and sign up, because I'm really concerned about the space, the riverboats, any kind of boat component that we offer, they will sell the space right out from under you. If you don't fill it, they can fill it with other people. So the space is really at a premium for this particular trip. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for having me, Allison. Appreciate it. And just come talk to me if you have other questions on the way out. We're going to do Costa Rica in probably about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.